Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. I hope that this message finds you in good spirits, and if not, maybe this transmission could uplift said spirits. My name is Kyrie Anthony, also known as the Hood Mystic, and today we're going to be discussing a weekly astrology report based on the sidereal chart, and then I'm going to open up the chat lines to my Substack subscribers to see if we can get some live readings going on. So, my plan is to run through the astrology in an orderly fashion, and that will serve as like the key. And then once that key is established, we'll be able to look at other people's astrological charts that are my paid Substack subscribers. If you are a Patreon subscriber, I am in the process of porting you over to the Substack. So when I send out an email, all my Patreon subscribers can get access to this live reading platform that I'm starting. It's always been an idea of mine. Did this like back in 2020, and maybe I had a little bit more to learn before I put my feet in the fire again. But I feel as though I'm ready. The reason that I feel as though I'm ready, I did a reading this morning, and I've been doing a couple of readings here and there this past week. And I just have a renewed interest in reading the charts and correlating the charts to people and real life circumstances. So if you want to take part and what I'm attempting to establish on this channel, feel free to join the Substack, become a $5 a month member, or sign up for the whole year. I will only be sending the link to my paid Substack subscribers. So if you want to get on this live and have a conversation, be sure to join the Substack. If you want to do month to month private one on one readings, go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon. Um, Once again, something that I've been doing for years, just opening up my spirit to, offer it again for those who might be interested, for those who are wanting a more intense um, reading process. There's a tier for that. For those who just want to go on a month to month basis with a simple reading every month based upon your transit charts, there's a tier for that. And as I stated earlier today, did a reading, and it was so invigorating. I think that's the word. Um, Usually when I do readings, and while I haven't like really been so interested in doing them for maybe like the past couple of years, is because I will always leave a reading feeling somewhat drained. And I think that drain feeling comes from not being as adept as you need to be. And so, what I've been doing for these past couple of years is just studying, learning, getting better, understanding the charts and things deeply. So, my communication of the charts to people and the understanding that I have towards myself, um, I just have a renewed interest. So if you ever thought about a reading, or maybe you want to read book with me, you want to talk about a discount, I'm also open to that as well. But if you never book with me and you was thinking about getting an astrological reading, the link is in the description, or you can click that QR code that's on the screen. Shout out to the Colombian Exchange, my sister companies with White Rabbit Psych. We have some exciting new products I would love for y'all to check out. Visit Colombian Exchange. We have an assortment of capsules with wonderful benefits, all at affordable prices. So if cleansing or getting access to Golden Seal, high quality Golden Seal, has been a problem, or you never tried Golden Seal, or you never cleansed your gut, tap in for a very low, affordable price. We got some awesome capsules on sale. And the way that I think, the way that I move is, my companies have always been the things that I do and utilize in my everyday life that I share with people. So, as far as like microdosing, um, I've been real big on the coffee as of late, microdosing in my coffee, reducing the amount of coffee and chicory root, infusing it with a lot of herbs. Like when you put a little bit of coffee mixed in with your herbs, it still tastes a little bit like coffee. It's a little bit on the herbal side, but it's not like coffee tastes so good, anyways. So that's what I've been doing. And I just love my mornings being able to microdose, drink my coffee all at the same time, and really just process a lot of stuff that I need to process, being a business owner, trying to assist in other things, and also like trying to raise children, which, is a whole nother level of whatever, right? So just in this particular space of spirituality and reading and having these thoughts and ideas, I just decided that I get on live today and specifically share. So with that being said, my first topic or stream of consciousness is related to these three words: principles, intention, and change. And when I say that these concepts have just been like tattooed into my brain, one of the first concepts or words is principles. And it's like when you're trying to build a business or you're trying to build a relationship, anything that you're trying to build, if it's not rooted in principle, which is a fundamental truth, law, or assumption that serves as a basis for belief or behavior, it can be a rule of conduct, a law of nature, or a basic idea that guides decision making. So, if we enter into relationships and businesses and just our overall life without having specific principles, then you're like in the realm of like a wave. And so, with Pluto being in Capricorn in this area right here in the chart, Pluto in Capricorn is centered in a stable foundation to grow and to develop. And in order to grow and develop, you need to have some level of stability in thought, stability in action, and stability in how you programmed and move through life. So, whatever you're doing, is probably going to be some things in your life that are principled. And then there might be some things in your life that you just ride in the waves of emotion. But when you look at Pluto as a seed, as a transformation point, as a creation point, as an origin point, the thing that is going to become is going to be a result of principle. How are you going to do what you set out to do? Which brings me to my second word, intention. A thing intended, an aim, or plan. So your principle should be tied in to your intention. So if me and you get together, what is our intention and what are our principles? Because if me and you get together and we have no intention and we have no principles, you're really going to have to ask your question. You're going to come to a point in time where you ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Because when we study the astrology and we look at the chart, it's giving us calculations, it's giving us facts, it's not giving us hypotheticals or emotional data, meaning that maybe Mercury don't feel like being in Cancer. Maybe it feel like being in Sagittarius today, but it can't. In order for Mercury to get to Sagittarius, it have to go through retrogrades and all types of stuff, conjunctions and oppositions to one day get to Sagittarius. Thus, one can be patient if one is principled and if one is intentional. So, within the realm of things not working out, whether it's a relationship or a business or a goal or an idea, I bet money. I want to start a gambling game with you guys. Do anybody want to bet in reference to a person that was principled and intentional and patient and not impatient but patient and did not accomplish what they set out to accomplish? So in studying the chart, it was allowing me to like parse out some truths metaphysically. And the last part that we're going to talk about is Pluto. And I'm going to tie all of this energy and I'm going to go through planet by planet and just give us an overall weekly astrological report. If you are a member of my Substack and you are a paid member of my Substack, I will be emailing you closer to the end because I just don't want you waiting online. And I want to see if some people will tap in to get a live reading. Um, so this is just something that I'm testing out, trying out, and we'll see how it goes. And if it goes good, I'll do more of it. And if it goes horribly, I'll do more of it. You thought I said I was going to stop, but we can't stop, won't stop. Shout out to Diddy. So, the last concept that we're going to be talking about in reference to Pluto and Capricorn is change. Alter, make different, to change. So, in the normal negative emotional space that one might enter in reference to the human, that feels like whether or not they want to build with you, whether or not they have to go to work. One's in the chat. Whether or not they hanging out with their boyfriend. One's in the chat. Whether or not they got school in the morning, so they got to get some sleep. One's in the chat. So, in reference to we living in a ghetto and we want to change our lives, we then will tie in purpose and intention to create that change. It's a very simple thing because we are raised up in an emotional fervor of fight or flight, and we're not able to make practical decisions that enhance our life. We grew up in a world that had us thinking about sex way too early, money way too early, to which it created a space of fight or flight. Now, all of our decisions are based upon whether or not we are comfortable, but we all know magic happens outside of the comfort zone. And in order to get out of your comfort zone, you are going to have to change. Y'all probably don't hear me tonight, but that's okay. Somebody can hear me at a certain point. Okay, so let's get to the chart and what's going on. So, the first aspect that we're going to look at, which we have been looking at, is Pluto and Capricorn. Now, Pluto and Capricorn is very heightened because it is coming into an exact conjunction. So, when you look at Pluto, it's perfectly sextile to Saturn or perfectly Where are we at? Perfectly trined, sextiled. So the sextiles and trines are basically at 0 degrees. So these 0 degrees, perfect alignments, which is creating this beautiful Merkaba, I might add. But beyond that, the perfection between Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune and Uranus is perfect. So when you took look at Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, you have to then say what do those three planets have in common? Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune are transpersonal planets. And just to get a baseline of the particular energy of the week, we have to begin to understand that Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are generally considered transpersonal planets in astrology. They are often referred to as the outer planets or generational planets due to their slow orbits and long lasting influence they have on entire generations rather than individuals. So, in May 25 of 2024, when I put out this article, The Great Awakening of 2024, and I said that, sorry, from now until 2029, Uranus will be trine Pluto and sextile Neptune, while Pluto and Neptune will be sextiling each other. Link is in the description if you want to read this article. This alignment forms what is known as a minor grand trine, often referred to as talent triangles. This configuration suggests that hidden talents and abilities are present, but they need to be actively cultivated. I wrote I wrote this in May 25 of 2024. This is a free article. Okay? Please join the Substack and join the other 1,500 people that's already subscribed to the Substack. Don't miss out, right? Get the knowledge. I'm going to give free articles, but I'm also going to, for my paid subscribers, I'm going to try to do live readings. So I want to give so much value to you that you feel like, damn, this is the best $5 that I'm spending. In anything that I do. I took some gummies yesterday. My wife made me some gummies. Man, I just laid back. I felt so amazing. And I was thinking about like White Rabbit Psych, and I was like, damn, being in this business so long and working through all my shit, I'm just thinking like, damn, all the positive feelings we done created and reverberated throughout the universe and the planet. Cause I just hope you feel as good as I feel on a day-to-day basis. Just laying in the bed. Nigga will say, "Oh, did you travel to France yet?" No, I just traveled to goddamn Neptune the other day. Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus are known as transpersonal planets. And in reference to this, like, what is there to put behind a paywall? Absolutely nothing. Watching this video, I'm going to give an assortment of information for free. It ain't gonna cost you nothing besides the internet that it costs you to, tap into whatever it is that you want to tap into. But in reference to a live reading and other articles in reference to the books that I'm writing, in reference to that this is what I do full time, in reference to nobody is making you sign up, in reference to if you don't support yourself or promote yourself, can I rely on you to promote me? I can't. So, with all of that being said, yeah, everybody got to do their thing. You feel me? um, and I hope that everybody is able to pay their bills and take their kids to the fair, you know? And if you got an extra five, good looking, you know, or not, like the video, watch the video, watch my thousands of videos that I got on YouTube at your convenience, at your delight. Get a notebook, pen, and paper, take some notes, click some links in the description, buy some books, do your own study, go out into nature, connect with your animal side, connect with your spiritual side, fully develop. Because this thing is each one teach one, you know, at the end of the day. But you gotta learn how to not be afraid to monetize, you know. And a lot of what I'm coming into in this particular study is I for sure want to monetize, but understanding monetization is going to be in your particular principles in reference to, you know, I want to get to the end so bad, but I'm trying to build up to it. So I'm not going to reveal the big reveal and, the principles of success where you waiting for it to happen or you shunning it when somebody that look like you is trying to monetize, um, things of that nature. And you'll run into people where people will say, man, you're not charging enough. Them is the people you want to surround yourself with. You don't want to surround your people and when referencing to your gifts and say, well, why you charging for that? Because you will be in a hole for a long time. You ever heard of the poor righteous teachers? One's in the chat if you ever heard of the concept of poor righteous teachers. We not in that paradigm any longer, right? You never know where your blessing is going to come from, right? In reference to the value that you able to put into people's mind frame. Because in order for me to exist in the space that I'm in, you can book a reading. Link is in the description, right? Or you can scan this QR code. In order to get to this particular space where you got 109 5-star reviews with no edits, is because you become that person that people can talk to when they can't even talk to their mama. They can't even talk to their daddy or their husband because they don't understand Pluto and Capricorn and being principled. Because your family, guess what? They want everything to stay the same. They don't want to change, even though the world is changing. Even though the world is changing. Don't you see the world is changing? Ones in the chat. Do you not see that the world that we grew up in is not the world that we live in now? But in reference to the things that we must do, your parents and grandparents is going to hope that you do the same thing that they did. And if you don't do it, it's a problem with you. And so, in reference to your spiritual awakening, who is you going to talk to about it? You're probably not going to talk to nobody about it and pray and hope that you got a good job so you can pay your bills, so you can look at all the millions of people in the country struggling and homeless and still be like, well, they just didn't work hard enough. The disabled and war torn veterans that are homeless and displaced by the thousands in this country. But as long as you work hard, you'll be good. And then when you talk about spiritual development and spiritual awakening, it is extremely abstract because when people are trying to lay it out for you, you got so much going on. But when you look at Pluto and Capricorn, you're talking about a reset point. What is that reset point uncovering? What are your principles? Now, this Pluto energy is going to be sextiling Saturn. So these two lines between Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn is also going to be sextile between Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune. So these two lines right here are sextile lines. This longer line is a trine line. And this shape, which is a minor grand trine, is about activating your hidden abilities and hidden talents, meaning that these talents are in reference to where Pluto is at in your chart. So Pluto is in my first house, right? So Pluto being in my first house, I've been working on cultivating this image of myself for the past 9 to 10 years. Cause I always wasn't like this. I was just a normie square muggle trying to get some J's and some 20-inch rims on the Chevy Caprice. Didn't care about a meditation or spiritual nothing. But Pluto is the planet of transformation and change. Neptune is in my third house of communication. So I've already cultivated this aspect within my chart, and I'm not bragging, and I'm not saying that I'm the epitome of this particular stuff, but if I can't relate it to myself in real life shit, then because it'd be like, well, you just on the internet talking, but no, I got a book that sell every day on Amazon in reference to astrology. Nobody was going to tell me that when I was 28 years old, that you was going to write a book on astrology that people would buy every day. And you would be an astrologer, you would be a reader. But when I studied my chart and I seen Neptune in the third house, it clicked something in me to say maybe I should give my perspective to the world. It's a more raw perspective because I'm a hood nigga. I went to prison. I done sold every drug, So I mean, I'm not no saint. I don't work with some late night girls, things of that nature. I done been in a strip club or two or three or 1,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no saint, but my charts say Pluto is in my first house, Neptune is in my third house, and when I'm doing the knowledge on Neptune being in my third house, it's like I could be a psychic or I have a spiritual gift, and I'm like, let me dive deeper into this, right? And then Uranus, the planet of awakenings, the planet of all of this enact some level of change and some level of shaking yourself up. But once again, we're talking about hidden talents. So, in reference to your hidden talents or in reference to your intention, Saturn conjunct Neptune, how do you work towards it daily? And this is a hard part, waking up in a fog, having 4 hours of your screen time be devoted to Instagram and social media, brain fog, brain rot, stress. Girls be having anemia. It's all bad out here in these streets. All right, low iron. Once again, because it's a lot going on in the world, because you got Netflix, Disney Plus, you got videos on demand. You can choose from a million different videos. You can go on YouTube and go down rabbit holes, not as much as you could back in the days, but you get the point. You looking for something to stimulate you or entertain you, and nothing is wrong with that. But if it gets so bad that you lose sight of your intentions, this is the wake up call. Now, in reference to how real Saturn conjunct Neptune is, when we look at it in the chart, Saturn is perfectly conjunct Neptune. And this week, I'll have a fuller explanation of this particular transit because it is super important and I want to get detailed on it and I want to get through the houses on it. But for right now, a really quick story. I had, it was when you are a spiritual person and you utilize spirituality for good in your life and you don't do the things that you did to create the good things that you created in your life, then those good things don't happen. And then you're like, oh shit, why aren't the good things happening? When you build your life spiritually, you can build a castle, but it's going to be as easy as you created it, will be as easy as you lost it. The girl that you love so much can turn on you and hate you for life, and you would never want to talk to her again or see her. Because, in reference to her loving you or liking you, was a spiritual process. So, there was a vision that I had back in the days of me wearing a turban and having a beard. And I actualized that vision. Very recently, I seen another vision of myself, and it was me with braids and open button ups where just like nothing but chest hairs is coming out. Now I gotta actualize that vision because I just be wearing t-shirts and shorts because I like working out. But now it's like now you gotta wear silk button ups and reds and blues and contrasting colors, and you can't wear browns, grays, or blacks. No more. No whites, no neutral colors. If you're not wearing contrast and bold colors, then you like I gotta really change my wardrobe and all of this. And I'm like, well, I don't see how that's in a budget, but I don't gotta really worry about the budget. I know how this shit goes. The vision of myself did not stop with a turban and a beard. My vision has to change and enhance. And it's like, all right, I really want to be a sex symbol for real. Like I really want to get my body together and just be totally T. And it's like, all right, you wake up and you not necessarily working out every day because you got to recover, but you got to eat right. You got to do so much to get your shit together. And I've been on this journey for a little bit, but like it can always intensify. And it's like not just working out but my aesthetic, how I look, because once again, where's Pluto at in my chart in my first house? That's my appearance. So at one level I'm thinking I got my turban, I'm cool, I'm just the hood mystic. But it's like no, it's still a side of me that just want to like line my beard up and get some fresh braids and throw some cocoa butter on my face and just be glistened up with, a silk shirt on, and just out at the club dancing by the water. You know what I'm saying? That's still inside of me. And I'm not about to just be like, all right, yeah, my life is over. I'm just about to just be this nigga wearing t-shirts and shorts, going back and forth to the gym. Like that's just where I'm at today. But what am I doing? What are my daily activities leading me to? And I really sat with myself and saw myself with that. I'm like, oh yeah. I like how that look, or I want to feel that inside of me. Pause. Damn, that was crazy. That was crazy, y'all. Let's move on. That was wild work. All right. So next we want to talk about Chiron and Aries. If you want to get in depth with that,
See, we
my latest I put out my latest video was Kyrie and Aries. Chiron and Aries through the houses. So, like I said, I will be doing Saturn conjunct Neptune through the houses. I already did this with Chiron, so I'm breaking down basically Chiron and Aries from a sidereal perspective, and then how does this energy align with you? Because Chiron and Aries is really dealing with wounds that's coming to the surface, and then those wounds come to the surface for a reason. And once you deal with that reason, you're able to heal. But this healing aspect within you is a part of your message. It's a part of your particular purpose or your principles. Because it could be one to encourage something, but it also could be something to prevent. So you could have somebody in your life who is a bad example, and you could use that person as a way of not to be. So in reference to abuse and trauma and things of that nature, we might condemn that person and not heal that. But you can heal that and still create a life where you protecting your daughter from said perpetrators. Like I want to protect my daughter from every guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm extreme with it because shit, I've learned from my past. You don't just assume, oh she all right. No, come in here. Let me make sure you all right. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Cause what's the point of yeah, I just let her fly by the wayside and then some shit happened and now you in fight or flight. So what I'm saying is healing don't have to be you move into a space where you don't become a soldier. You very well could become a warrior because Chiron is in Aries. But how did this energy specifically line up in your house? A good resource would be my article on the Substack, which is a free article, by the way. So, like I said, join the 1,400 other people who are Substack members and get access to hundreds of articles hundreds of articles at this point, varying all domains of things. You could just search or just go through the articles, and I guarantee you, you will find an article that piques your interest in something that you could learn and get better. Because you know me, I'm gonna give you links and resources where I got the information from, so you can dive down different rabbit holes than the rabbit holes that I created. Right? It's like a portal. You go down one rabbit hole and then you find other rabbit holes you can go down to. That's what I've really viewed my Substack as. So moving forward, we have Uranus and Taurus, which represent financial systems. Now, when you're talking about financial systems, they're going to require principles and intention. Once again, money is emotional when you don't got it, right? When you low on money, you feel crazy. One's in the chat. One's in the chat. When you low on money, you have an emotional response. Now, if you did not have, if you had a way to said deal with your money, in a practical, smart way, you would ultimately, in fact, not be worried about money. So the emotion comes from not monitoring your money, not having a system towards your money. When you don't have a system, when you don't have a principle, when you don't have an intention, right? Sometimes our intention is just to pay the bills and get by. And guess what? We sometimes do good in that. But sometimes we got to shift it to investing, to learning, to getting into different systems and like understanding it. And once again, you don't have to understand it, but at the same time, you're going to be so behind the eight ball when all of this stuff is happening and the news is not covering it, it's not in your newspapers, but it's really happening. That's why self knowledge, self awakening, we're talking about it now because when the shit hit the fan in 2 to 3 years, you gonna be happy. It's already people since 2020, since we've been talking about cryptocurrency and all of this particular stuff. If you would have invested it at that time and it kept investing, you wouldn't have lost money. But if you dibble and dabble here and took some money out and lost, yeah, you're gonna lose money every time. What did we say about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto? These is long-standing planets that affect generations, not just individuals. So that's absolutely money. Money, although it affects the individual, money affects everybody in some form or fashion. Either you got it or you don't got it. We're talking about emotions that really need to be put to the side. And then we got to look at how these planets interact. So Uranus and Pluto are interacting in reference to Earth signs, very fundamental and stable in reference to calculations and codes. The emotional side to it has Saturn in the mix, and the way Saturn feel about Pisces is, look, get over it. You got to do it anyway. This is the 12th house. Your emotions shouldn't be connected to negative stimuli. Your emotions should be basically in reference to the word energy in motion. So Venus and Jupiter are in Gemini. Jupiter somewhat unaspected to everything, but Venus in Gemini, which is like a relationship and the quality of said relationships in reference to what you're doing on a daily basis and what you are doing for your work. So once again, we black people, so we for sure going to get into relationships for what? Love and emotions. He cute, she look good. One's in the chat, your homeboy told you, man, that pussy good, man. That's why I wifed her up. Your girl said, girl, that sex is so amazing. I had to wife him up. What you mean by that, man? You wifed him up? I had to wife him up, hood. Like, wait a second. What's going on out here in these streets? And then you need a kidney or some real shit happen, and that person don't know how to handle it. Because like Venus and Gemini, in reference to a person that's romanticizing luxury in relationships, this is a whole Venus is outside of her element. Her element is a Taurus, right? That's like the city girls. Where the bag at, nigga? Where the bag at? Right? You ever see them girls that be with where the ballers is at and all that, they be having the money, or you don't know if they have money or not. One's in the chat. You don't know if she got money or not. She damn sure look like she got money though, but she might got but $2 in her goddamn wallet. But she look like she got that motherfucking money on. That's her nigga car. She wearing her girlfriend outfit. She just know how to do her makeup real good, can do hair and nails real good. She looking like $1 million. That's Venus and Taurus. Venus and Gemini is like, all right, you know, is the how did you get it? How did it happen? A lot of times Venus and Taurus, it'd be like, what do they call it? Black girl magic. Ain't no science behind black girl magic. It just is. Right? Ain't no science behind it. And then you get into Venus and Gemini. It's like, okay, how did you manifest that leadership position? Shit, I did a ritual to Madame Laveau last night. I burnt 5 candles, cut 7 chickens open. They offered me the job as soon as I walked in. Shit, I'm here now. The direct deposit happened when on Thursday. All right, 4 a.m. I'll be expecting that. hmm So now unaspected, it puts itself in a very vulnerable position. Venus don't do not like being in Gemini under no circumstances. And to make it worse, it's a T square with I feel like is one of the toughest astrological constellational aspects known to man, which is Saturn conjunct Neptune and Pisces. An exact conjunction for a long time. And it's hard to do what your spirit wants you to do. Most niggas got a job, ones in the chat that they hate going to. And if they don't got a job, they at home and they ain't doing shit. They ain't starting their YouTube channel. You at home with no job and you ain't even posted on goddamn OnlyFans twerk videos to your subscribers. You're not on Twitch doing readings. You just at the crib chilling. So Saturn and Neptune is some form of a psychosis because the Nine of Cups is um spiritual. Let's get into the science of the Nine of Cups, which is what all of this energy is just preparing you for. What once again, the Nine of Cups represents fulfillment, contentment, and satisfaction. But the Eight of Cups, where Saturn and Neptune is perfectly exact, represents moving on for situations that are no longer fulfilling, often involving emotional or spiritual growth. That's tough for a lot of people. That's tough because what do you think that is related to? It's not related to the external in the 12th house, right? It's related to what? It suggests a journey of self discovery, letting go of past attachments, and seeking something deeper and more meaningful within yourself, right? Because when you look then at the Nine of Cups, it's the same person sitting there with all of their trophies, which is just self development, working on yourself. But you can't work on yourself in the realms of what caused this area indolence, right? Indolence means avoidance of activity or exhaustion or laziness. So, what then are we talking about? Being spiritually lazy. What does spiritually lazy mean? It means the surface is facing you and it sucks. And the fact that the surface sucks, the job suck or life suck or whatever sucks, and you're like, damn, it sucks. So what you thinking is going to suck forever? So you just going to go into a deeper wormhole of desperation and isolation. But at a certain point, you have to stop and then say, if this situation is bad, how can I change it? And if you ever did anything spiritual in your life and came to a realization in your life, and you was like, wow, that was spiritual, you have to look at the bullshit and look at it in the same spiritual lens. Spiritual laziness refers to a lack of motivation and effort in one's spiritual life, characterized by neglecting practices like prayer, scripture, study, and fellowship. For the spiritualist, you could look at it as meditation, burning herbs, candle work, refreshing your altar, cleaning your altar, going within yourself, journaling, working through your blocks. Because when you say, when you say principles, intention, and change, you're ultimately saying, I get to start over and I get to change and I get to change in the way that I want to change. And so although you have a business, although you have a relationship, you have to establish principles within that thing, or it's not going to survive in this new world. You have to be spiritually principled and you have to know where your life is going, because there are no more safety nets. So if the fear of life is catching up to you and you start having all of these negative thoughts and represent to what if this and what if that, can't fuck around with that shit, because you're going to be more likely to manifest it. Because the spiritual awakening, it works both ways. Power works both ways. If I have the ability to elevate and ascend overnight, I also have the ability to self-destruct in reference to what could I have been doing at this particular time, in reference to how I feel. Because it could have been a couple weeks ago and I could be in the same place, but feeling like the world is against me. And so I'm not able to, I got the same setup that I had 2 weeks ago that I got now. I didn't make no advancements in setups or nothing. It is the spiritual laziness part in reference to the thing. And sometimes you don't have the answers. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes the shit is against you. And sometimes you just got to relax and get into your parasympathetic, get into your meditation, get into your journal. And when the ideas come, you better act on it, right? Back to the chart. Venus is square Mars, right? Mars in Virgo. Virgo is opposed Saturn and Uranus in Pisces. So on Mars is the planet of action, oppose some energy in reference to you being lazy. Oppositions are not as bad as they look when you're able to exemplify both sides of the opposition. I'm going to act in reference to my spiritual laziness. And therefore, I'm going to improve the quality of my relationships based upon my purpose or principle, my intention, and also knowing that I got to eventually Venus is going to progress into the ninth and the 10th deacon. And these relationships are going to have to be cut off or altered or improved. For somebody like me, what I realized today is that I need to create some form of a social network for myself. However that look like, in reference to people in Detroit, people across the world, cuz it's like I just be here. I like it don't feel comfortable with this energy transit in my 10th house, right? It just don't feel comfortable for me. And it's something that I'm really just like realizing I don't know how I'm gonna do it, It's a T square. It's a lot of tension and it's a lot of questions. But what we understand about astrology is that in reference to tension, squares move out of tension, planets move out of tension, and when they do move out of tension, those solutions just come. So don't be like the dudes down at the holding tank letting their emotions get the best of them, right? Making a decision in 5 seconds that's going to alter them for the rest of their lives because they didn't even realize that the tension was going to shift and the energy was going to pass. So when we look at Mars and Virgo, which is centered in the work that we're doing every day, it should coincide with the thing that is referenced to us being spiritually lazy. So when it comes to me doing live readings and doing readings at all or studying charts and getting into that, that was me being spiritually lazy. And for weeks and months at a time, I studied astrology to a T. And I can't blame nobody because I would be with my kids and my kids would drive me up a fucking wall. But I still know what I need to do, and I would be going through it with my kids, right? And like in my mind, I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not even mad at them. I'm really reflecting on this shit like, damn, anytime it looked like I should be mad at my kids or mad at people that like I don't be mad at nobody. I'm always mad at myself because I know what I'm supposed to do. And I cannot look at anybody like I'll give you an example. I was going to do this video, and my 10-year-old had a tantrum out of nowhere on the late night. It was crazy. Tantrum for a whole hour straight. And then we resolved it, and I'm sitting back thinking, and I'm just like, damn, like I was about to do readings, and then this happened, and I'm just like, I don't even really care. Like I would just be like in the space of timing. And so today we went to the cemetery. And today it was just like I noticed that like the last time I went to the cemetery, I was hella anxious for some reason. Like I just have been anxious because shit, I'm a real person. I'll be having to pay bills and shit. So that shit give me anxiety or whatever. And that's not no excuse either. It ain't no excuses when you referencing purpose, intention, and change. Or principles, intention, and change. Because when you operate outside of principle, bad shit is bound to happen. The example that I always give, we about to build a house and we about to build this house on feels. We about to build this house on vibes. Is that the right dimension? It feels right. All right, let's go. That house going to be a piece of shit. And we can't be mad because we didn't have any principles. We didn't work towards it for real. We came there every once in a while when we felt like building it, and we didn't even measure, even know what it took to build the house in the first place. So, principles, intention, and change. And with Mars, it is the persistent action in reference to your daily activities. And last but not least, we got the sun conjunct Mercury opposed Pluto. And when we look at this particular deacon of Cancer, it is abundance. So that abundance works two ways. It can be abundance of fear, abundance of doubt, abundance of psychosis, abundance of anxiety, or it could be immersing yourself in your daily intentions, immersing yourself in your principles. What is your code of conduct? What are the things you do? Because another area that we need to express and address is that three of wands area of integrity. Because when you talk about your principles, you also talking about your integrity, the things you're going to do, whether people looking at you or not. And these are all personal dichotomies within a person, whether it's drinking all day, having weird sex all day, masturbating all day, whatever this thing is, and then saying, all right, my principles is that I only jerk off 2 times a week. Nah, man, we gotta be above and beyond, moving in a way that our animal bodies come take over. When we study in astrology, we are not studying the animal side of ourselves. We are studying the angelic side of ourselves, because the animal side of ourselves is going to take care of itself in the first place. In the hood, where people is just living and existing, it ain't that much healthy food shops in the hood. And people just fine with going to the gas station, going to the liquor store, getting some chips, getting some hot Cheetos, even though it got red 40. I live in the hood and I gotta travel outside of the hood to get the food that I know that is healthy. And I know it's other people like me, but I know it's a larger percentage of people in my community that's going to go right up the street to the Kroger, to the gas station for sustenance. So I say this all to say your ability to raise your frequency is going to affect the animal body in a positive way based upon your decision making and how you live it. That's just how this shit goes. And one will be looking at this week saying, what's the overall theme for the week? And it's simple as this: success does not happen by accident. So I'm going to try something out. Okay. I just had to check something out. I'm gonna send this out to my Patreon subscribers, my paid subscribers. If you get this email and you want to have a live reading with me, click the link in your email. I just sent the email out to my Patreon subscribe, not Patreon, but Substack subscribers. But I did port over my Patreon subscribers, those that are my paid subscribers. So what I'm planning, what I did, because I want to service my Patreon subscribers, but a lot of my work have been focused on the Substack. I mean, you can subscribe to my Patreon if that's your app of choice, but I want you to know that everything that I do on my Substack, you'll be privy to. So the people who have just been like a Patreon subscriber for mad years, I made you a paid subscriber on my Substack for life. So you don't got to worry about paying twice or nothing like that. But once again, if you get this email, feel free to get a live reading. So we got our first person, Amanda. Like I said in the email, you can use fake names. You don't got to cam up or none of that. We just want to get the information and keep the anonymity if that's what you are into. So, Amanda, can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Going once, going twice. And trust me, this is just some stuff that I just started like in a spur of the moment. So I don't expect it to be perfect on this first go around. Amanda, if you can hear me, unmute yourself and speak, and I'll just kick you out if you're trying to
Oh,
speak.
I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay. Good, good, good. What's going on? What's going on with you?
Not much, just chilling. I saw the little link pop up.
Cool, cool. Thank you for tapping in, being a good sport. Like I said in the email, we could do a general astrology reading unless you got a specific question.
Nothing specific right now. I was just peeping what you had going on.
Type to type. All right. Can I get your birthday if you don't mind?
February 6th, 1990.
Mm-mm-mm. And do you know your time of birth or no?
2:58 a.m.
City and state.
Winter Park, Florida.
All right, Amanda. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. So let me set up this chart a little better so I could get a clearer look on how this is looking in your housal system. You know, a chart like this is like somebody who is very much refined, very much tied in and tuned in to their specific specialty, right? And so right now the chart is lining up with your seventh house, your Jupiter, Moon, and Chiron and Gemini, and also and it's really kind of just focused in those particular areas, your seventh house and your first house. So once again, this could be a time where you are truly, I'm looking for your Saturn placement real quick. So yeah, this will be yeah, okay. So this is definitely a time where you're really looking ahead in reference to like paradigms like towards like marriage and relationships and like what your life will look like in this particular stage of it. Is that fair to say or not at all?
Not so much on the relationship side. I'm actually trying to build more so a relationship with myself than with
Hmm.
anybody else.
Hmm. As far as like home or like it's like your overall outlook for what life is looking like for you though in that aspect.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to reframe everything.
Hmm. Yeah, and for you, it might not even be like, because Chiron is in that seventh house. So if there are specific wounds in relationship to, um, not like, humdrum relationships, this or relationships that, none of that, but really
Mhm.
just looking at those particular wounds and outlooks and then like settling in with like who can you really assist with your knowledge and your development and be like when I have conversations like this I don't expect people to like really think about it and if they do great but I just kind of put it out there more of like a small subtle projection of what I do is like help people, right? And then like you with all of this energy in Gemini and you having certain levels of experience in said field of what you've been studying in, are you the type of person that is either A, helping people on a consistent basis, daily basis, or B, hoping to do that in the future?
More so B.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely, I think it's definitely the time for that with this energy transiting your fourth house, where it's like a home based business or some form of working from home, where like working remote or live streaming and really like utilizing technology to do your work, whether it's like some form of therapy, or even something as subtle as like readings or something like that. But really, the work that you are meant to do might be done from your home. Does that resonate at all?
I'm trying to transition from a regular job to working from the house, but I'm just trying to like tap into what creatively I can do because I'm not really
Mhm.
do reading. I'm not trying to be
Yeah,
little hood mystic and nothing like that.
yeah, 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 for
But
sure, for
I don't know.
sure.
I'm gearing more so on the artistic side, but I'm just trying to see
Mhm,
where I can do that.
mhm.
Where I could be a benefit at.
Hmm. Yeah, and definitely keep your heart and mind opening, because Saturn and Jupiter is going to be transiting your fourth house for a while. Neptune's going to be there for like 5 years, and Saturn's going to be there for like 2.5 years. So I say that all to say, is no rush, but it does highlight your seventh house, which would be more tied into like a relationship with yourself. So with Mars conjunct Uranus in your first house, it's like, are you gentle with yourself? Are you into certain like forms of like really looking at yourself, admiring your beauty? Because one would say like your beauty comes from like the cosmos, like, you know what I'm saying, like a very much of a star being. And a lot of that is like confidence too. So putting yourself out there would be like really related into like, aesthetics and stuff like that, and just being so comfortable with how you look and how you feel and how you show up for yourself. Also very personal, but at the same time, I think your chart is so much and so deeply in alignment with who you authentically are. And I would just hope that, like, on a daily basis, you see that version of yourself, if that makes sense. Like, you see this part of you that is so cosmically aligned and attuned. But
Mhm. I'm working on that.
I'm happy that you came up here and shared space with me, allowed me to, um, look at your chart, and hopefully the things that I said would have some positive impact on how you feel today and moving forward.
I appreciate that. I thank you for
Mhm.
taking the time out and doing this.
Yeah, for sure. Much love. And, you can always message me on Substack for anything further, but I'm always here.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later, Amanda.
All right now.
Peace. So we got Yolanda. Peace, Yolanda. How you doing this evening?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And we had talked earlier, correct?
Yeah, we did. So I was like, well, let's talk about something else.
I appreciate you, and I'm gonna have your recording. I already have it. It's like this clicking sound, but I got your recording already queued up. As soon as I get off here, I'm gonna email it to you. But what? Let me get your birth information one more time,
Okay, 3/11/71.
and time of birth.
You need the time.
Um, if you don't mind. If you don't know it, I could look it up.
It's 8:10 a.m.
And I'm gonna just mute you, and I need you because it's a little got a real bad reception, Yolanda, but it's all good. And I think, what part of South Carolina was it?
Greenville. I don't know why it's real static. It didn't get like that
Yeah,
till
it
I
wasn't like
unmuted myself.
well like this earlier. I don't know. But it's all good. I'll just whenever I'll just ask you a question, and I'm just gonna pull up your chart though, and then from there you can go ahead and ask your question related to what we was just talking about. All right, Yolanda, you unmuted. Did you have a general question or you had a specific question?
Well, I was just wondering about, my career and money. 'Cause I got things I
Mm-hmm.
want to, I got, stuff I want to get paid off. So I've been thinking about, my career and money.
Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. So let me look at this and I'll get right back with you. So when we looking at career and money, we can look at the 10th house, we can look at the second house, and we can look at the fourth house. So for you, fortunately or unfortunately, so if Venus is at 15 degrees Capricorn, let me see real quick. So it's like right, your Venus is right on the cusp of your 10th and 11th house. So, what that tells me from an astrological perspective is that you're on the edge from having enough to take care of yourself. But what would take you over the hump is learning how to network and work with other people. So, in reference to your financial needs and having more than enough, you do good at taking care of yourself and taking care of your immediate needs. And that's Venus right on this cusp of 10th or 11th. But there's also a hunger and a desire for more, which is going to be your North Node in the 11th house on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. And the thing about your chart is two things really. You was born on a full moon. That's always going to be on your favor in your favor. So how do you master it? You master it by Aquarius um, networking. So this might look different for every person, but things like Avon, I know it's a curse word for some people, but for some people they do good at it, multi-level marketing and things of that nature. And it's like, well, I don't want to really do all of that. You got to find something within your comfort zone that you are willing to go out of your comfort zone. And I know that's a oxymoron, but another way that you balance out your full moon energy is with this moon. And so we talked about it earlier. Your moon being in Virgo in tropical astrology is perfectly fine. But the thing of a Virgo moon is that it is looking at the best thing. So don't sacrifice your energy for what you absolutely want. So the first question is you need to figure out your career and stuff. And so part of your career would be finding people that are making money already, enjoying with them. And this is not going to be a hard thing, but it's definitely going to be something that's going to be like a second job, but not technically. It's going to be something like not specifically Avon, but just to put yourself in that particular direction. But how do you determine it? I would ask you based upon your chart in reference to Saturn in your first house, what do you see yourself doing that you haven't done, but you either may want to do and you can just see yourself doing it? And if you got something clear in your mind, I would say go for it. And that's going to help you out financially because you got to work with what you got. And, you know, um, what you got, it looks like is a strong network. So do you know a lot of people like as just like contacts? Not to say you deal with them every day, but like if you just needed to text a lot of people, could you in theory?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head. Mm-mm.
Not on the
And
top of your
I
head.
know,
Okay.
but not like that.
Uh
No.
yeah. Yeah, so that's the North Node for you. It is opening you up to something. So, like I said, I would definitely do some type of investigation or develop a very like a passion or a hobby in something, like immerse yourself in something that you could then convert for extra money. So I know it's always different things, different seminars, and different ways. Like, so it gets to a point where you learning how to invest your money, even if you got an extra $20 or $50 or $100. That's going to be the next stage for you. But I think it really do start with a social circle and trying to establish a social circle. If you don't know things that's like immediate within like you don't know nobody, which a lot of people find themselves in that circumstance. It's things. You ever heard of meetup.com?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You ever like, is it like I mean, it don't hurt to check it out, but like you don't want to limit yourself in reference to finding your tribe. So one thing is, I don't know my tribe, I never found my tribe, I don't know people. But then it's another thing where you going on meetup and you finding like things that you might be interested in, such as like nature or tarot cards or something like that. And you never know what could happen. But I say the hard part about this chart is the fact of you staying to yourself a majority of the time, and you might be a secret extrovert with a strong social circle that has to be developed and cultivated within you. And I don't say that to say like, oh, it's going to be easy, but I do say it to say that it's possible. Once again, if you have that intention, um, but you know, money for you a lot of times is like career and all of this is going to boil down to like you ever heard of it's not what you know but who you know.
Hmm.
That's really what this chart is. So is there like people, even if it's one person that you know that you could like call and reach out to and like just like talk to, or you just more or less don't have nobody like that?
No, I have people that I can talk to, and I started back nursing. I did go back to school. I'm in classes now for nursing, and
Okay,
I have
good.
my professional counseling degree. So
Hmm.
it's just that's me trying to position myself in those areas too.
Oh, oh well, then you definitely in good shape. And like one of the things that I would say, um patience, right, in reference to what's happening with the energy, having your particular intention and knowing that things is going to change. So, if you have an intention to get more money, increase more money, one of the things that I would suggest is to not want it, but know it's happening and really go like tonight, really just knowing that things is working out for you. And that's really how you get into your full moon energy. So like I know it might be some stuff to be worried about and some things that you might be things are changing and you feel a little bit insecure about it. That's okay. But part of this next phase is going to be centered in faith, your personal faith in what you want for yourself. So, in asking you that or telling you that, um, I think that's something that you might have to really kind of work on. And whether that's reading the Bible more or just like watching videos on YouTube and like searching the concept of faith and just developing it within your heart. Because it's a lot of things that is within your life achievable, but the first thing, it comes from you knowing that they are achievable. That's one of the major key steps. So before it even happens, you got to believe it could happen, and that is a hard step for people to take. And specifically in reference to your chart, your sun is conjunct the north node exact right now. So what that means is, to me, is if you're able to, like, this might sound corny as hell, but wish upon a star, you can really achieve it. But the need and the desire is also creating the intention in you and the drive. So I would say don't be so short sighted and think about how you want things to look for yourself financially over this next 6 months, and trust that it will start working out day by day. Um, and you don't have much to worry about in that aspect, if that makes sense.
And that makes sense. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for calling in, Yolanda. Like I said, I'll email you shortly.
Okay, no problem. Thanks again.
Peace. So yeah, man. Like I said, I will be doing this more consistently. I just wanted to challenge myself to do it because, I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I'll just be like, I don't know if people are going to sign up, but I'll be more strategic about it. I'll have a specific date. It's probably going to be, the evenings or mornings or weekends when people off work and got the time. And yeah, man, probably do this Sunday evenings and sometimes during the week. So to my Substack subscribers and my Patreon subscribers, I just want to thank y'all. If you want to become a member, and get access to live readings, paid things, QR code. Link is in the description. If you want monthly readings, month to month readings, subscribe to the Patreon. We got a couple of tiers. Or if you just want a one off reading, you can book a reading, book a mini reading. Um, all available on my set more. All the links are in my descriptions. And with that being said, man, thank y'all once again. We got some content coming up this whole entire week. So make sure you share the channel, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And just trying to engage and reach and connect with the people and, do the work that I was meant here to do and not be so spiritually lazy, and also put myself out there because I could be talking to people and they'll be like, "What the fuck is you talking about? I ain't," what I'm saying, like that. And but I do be wanting to show people that, what I do is real to me, and I'm not here for nothing, no shits and giggles, not to play around. Definitely not playing around with spirit under no circumstances. So, with all that being said, thank y'all for utilizing the links in the description as we grow and get better. But once again, if interested and want to learn more, join the Substack, or you can also DM me on Instagram at the Hood Mystic. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.